Hello and welcome to Experience Share, a Pokemon podcast hosted by me, Bouffellant.
Yeah.
Bouffellant. Ooh, that sounds good once you get it. Bouffellant. Yeah, Bouffellant. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Try my best, aka Josh Fjellstad, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Altaria, aka Tanner Greenring. And this week, like many others before it, at this point, I'm pleased to welcome back Grisimsja.
Okay. My favorite Gen 6 Pokemon. I'll take it.
All right, nailed it.
Greninja.
I mean, maybe. I think my favorite. I mean, right? Greninja's the best one.
Certainly the best starter evolution.
Yeah.
AKA.
Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, AKA. Say my name. Say my name out loud.
AKA David Sims. Welcome back.
I'm back.
David Sims is back.
Chase some waterfalls.
Hell of a job doing the intro.
Thought it was pretty good.
Daddy is taking a back seat this week. This daddy.
Why? Why, Daddy?
Couldn't get his life together.
Because I didn't really play much of the end game.
Oh, sure.
Or rather, sorry, let me reiterate. I played all of the end game except for the hours-long Looker side quest
Yeah.
that they save for after you've defeated the Elite Four.
The Detective Pikachu, rehearsal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It's a little bit Detective Pikachu.
It's not nearly as good, but...
I mean, that is most of the end game, I would say, right?
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
else
Yeah.
is kind of nothing. Yeah.
I called Josh today and was like, I'm so lazy. I can't possibly play this end game. And then I went and looked up the walkthrough, and it turns out I had beaten all of the end game except for that one Looker mission.
I'll save all my actual commentary on the Looker thing until we get to it, but it is very text heavy.
Yeah.
Although I appreciate the story.
I think these games struggle with the end game.
Agree.
And, I always come on for this episode, and maybe I shouldn't because I'm always annoyed by the end game, but I feel like I'm just here to sort of wrap things up. But Gold Silver obviously has such the perfect idea of, you go back to Kanto and all that.
Yeah, super robust.
Right. And so then after that, it's like, okay, well, we gotta have a little meat on the bone for the, post Elite Four. And then they always just give you something where you're like, this is kind of a slog. I don't know why. I'm not negative about this game in general.
Yeah.
I want to be clear.
So Black and White and Black and White 2 had a whole other game as the post game. And I have a problem with that also, where I don't want it to be I don't want it to get anywhere near
You don't want them to
60-40 or
lock off a third
even
of the island.
70-30. Yeah, it's crazy to me that Black and White, the post game is all Eastern Unova that you never get to see until then.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, this one veered too far the way of why am I even here? Because it's one new town, it's the Looker thing, and a few random odds and ends that you can tie up.
But it's the same random odds and ends that we've had for the last 4 post games. You can go catch a couple of legendaries and you can go to the battle tower, which is called the Battle Maison in this game.
Yeah. Maison.
I'll admit that I did not finish Black and White 2, so I do not know about that post game. Even though I liked that game, I don't know, I got bogged down and I wasn't coming on the show anyway because you guys were having nervous
King's Lock.
breakdowns about tarot cards.
Yeah, we didn't want to have to go through and we didn't want to torture another
We didn't
guest.
subject
I
anyone
mean, I
to
wasn't
that.
gonna do if you were like, David, come on the show, it would have been like, yeah, sure, I've been playing it normally, like a normal person. That would have been my report. But I never finished Black and White 2. I'm not objecting to more game. I just do feel like these games have such a strict format with the gyms and the Elite Four and all that, and you can't mess with that because that's what we want. I'm not complaining about it.
Sure.
But then once it's freeform, they're just sort of I don't know. Do you want to solve a mystery? And I'm just I don't think so. I don't really think I wanted to do that.
That's what I said too, and then I didn't do it. So you guys should have just done what I did.
And so for that reason, it's Joshy take the wheel.
Yeah, Joshy take
and
the
I'm
wheel.
going to guide us right now because we're already
Off topic.
getting ahead of ourselves. David,
Yeah.
before we go into the post game, let's talk about the pre-post game, aka the main game. What were your thoughts on Kalos? Had you played this before? And
No.
Okay, wow.
We're now in full. David hasn't played. I haven't played X and Y. I haven't played Sun and Moon. That's what's next, right?
Well,
After
next is
Ruby, Alpha
Omega
Sapphire.
Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Ooh, that's exciting.
We will be doing that.
That's what's next? Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, and I never played the Alpha. I never played that either. I mean, I played Ruby and Sapphire, obviously. So, these two gens, 6 and 7, totally new to me. Don't know them at all. I only know them through Pokemon Go.
Oh, wow.
Where those Pokemon are now leaking out onto Pokemon Go, and so I know of them. But they're totally new to me.
Oh, yeah. So you were playing Pokemon Go in Gen 6 when it came out.
I never fucking stopped playing Pokemon Go. I play it every day.
Yeah, you've been playing it the whole time.
Sorry, I'm popping my microphone.
You'll be excited for our interstitial, which is what
I'm
we
very
will
excited.
be talking about at the end of this episode.
I'm very excited. But so and X and Y, I go in. Sort of, you guys had mentioned on your episodes and all that, like, oh, this is notoriously easy, and like, I know about, because I played Sword and Shield, I know about the experience share and how things get just a little easier. And I mean, one thing I really like is you get experience for catching a Pokemon. That always drove me crazy. I really like that you get experience for catching a Pokemon. Common sense.
That Pokemon had to work to catch that Pokemon.
Exactly. It's that those things felt like common sense. And while playing the game, I was mostly like, this is fine. I don't mind this. I don't mind that it's like a little easier. It's fun to play. It's great for guys like you who have to work through this game every week or whatever. It's good if you're on a schedule.
That's why I like it a lot more than I originally did now.
I will admit, like, by the end of the game, I don't over level like crazy like you guys usually do. Usually the game, like when I get to the Elite Four, they're a bit of a challenge and it's fun. And this, I just showed up and I was just like, and I had not been playing like that crazy. I had not been grinding away, and I just showed up, and these guys were like, I am the knight. I have a, like they're doing all their shit, and I'm just like, one hit KO, go away.
Yeah.
Like, there were nothing to me, and I was just kind of like, so it does. You do feel it in the back half of the game a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how you fix that. I don't know, or if you fix that. Like, I don't know.
I think this endgame has made it very clear to me that my conspiracy theory from mid-season that this is the first game made for like competitive Pokemon players,
right,
is confirmed, because that JWT station that you get access to, or whatever it's called, the JLT or whatever, opens up that whole new city down in the south, which is just
Kiloude
100% like catered to the like pro gamer crowd.
Yeah, I had a note about that.
Which too. I just don't care about.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't care about that. I mean, is that bad? Should I care?
Well, I want to. It's irrelevant now, though. Like, it's not like we can use any of this in this season, in this generation at this point.
It's for players who are playing this game new, right? And like just want to experience Pokemon until the next game comes out, is what I figure.
Yeah.
Can I give you a couple more rants that I've been now I'm just thinking about it.
Clear the runway, yeah.
Of course. Okay, so in general, I like the design. I like how it looks. I think it's fairly user-friendly. Every Pokemon game has a couple weird, hiccups where you're like, why do I have to press 8 buttons to like give my Pokemon a potion or something? But whatever. Like, it's mostly good. Lumiose City, they bit off more than they can chew. I fucking hate that place. Anytime it was like, go back to Lumiose City and go to like one of the 80 restaurants, and don't worry, it's on Magenta Street. And I'm like, where's Magenta Street? I can't navigate. This is horrible.
I've lived in New York
me like
for
20 minutes.
11 years, and I still will usually have to pull out my phone at least one time to check like where I'm going in Manhattan.
Yeah,
sure.
And you expect me to understand Lumiose City with the weird camera angles and like
the camera sucks. Yes, it's not
every
helpful.
Street is named after the color red.
Right.
Yeah, there's like Rouge.
Some variation of the color red.
At this point, especially because, I mean, as I'm sure we all are in this game, so rich, I literally just took the cab everywhere.
Oh,
I was
too.
like, I'm just not going to figure this out at this point. It's not a good use of time, especially in that looker quest, where it's just like a wild goose chase around
I hate
Lumiose.
Right.
I was like, no, cab the entire time. I blew like $100,000 on it. I'm
totally
sure.
worth it. I hate doing that stuff like that. And again, it's like every new generation, I get it. They want to take advantage of the new tech they have on their hand. They want to make the game feel bigger. I totally get it. And mostly I think they do a good job, making it 3D and making it look cool. But stuff like that, I'm just like, no, you guys were not ready for a circular city like with a million alleys. No, this is too much.
Yeah.
I take the cab everywhere too, not because I think it's more convenient. I've fully committed the map of Lumiose City to memory just because of how much time I've spent wandering between the restaurants.
Oh, have you?
But I take a cab everywhere I go because of the ego boost. Because every time I take a cab, he always says, "That'll be $2,000, but you look so nice today that it'll only be $1,000 for you."
I did reach that point, yeah. He's like, "You're looking great.
Yeah,
how
you're
much is
looking real
$750?"
nice. Yeah.
All right.
I just pay him full price anyway, but...
Yeah, of all the things that you can tip in this game, it's funny that you cannot tip the cab driver.
I know.
Like, tip the photo guy who randomly shows up, but not the cabbie.
Or those creeps in the Pokemon centers who, like, write poems for you.
Oh, yeah.
Not interested, bud.
So, who's your character, David? Gringus? Is it still Gringus?
Tell us about your guy.
Just give us a little taste.
Tell us about your journey.
Yeah.
Do you have any more rants? Signature Sims rants?
Yeah, I feel like I had one other rant. I do agree. I feel like one of your guests, was it the fancy guest, the fancy man, the super effective man?
Steve.
Was saying that Dex is so good. Like, this is just like the most like robust. Like, is that this after this they maybe start to shrink it a little bit, right? Because they're like, it's fucking too many Pokemon. Like, we can't do this anymore.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Because I remember by Sword and Shield,
they stopped programming all of them by
Right.
Sword and Shield. Yeah.
So like, I would agree with that. I feel like I do have another rant in me, but like, I guess it's about Team Flare.
Oh.
Who I was so on board.
I want to
with.
talk about that.
I was so into them because, like you guys said, like they would just be like, "We're fabulous. We have a cool outfit. What's our thing? We're cool. Get out of our way." Like, they were pretty simple.
We just want power for power's sake, and we just want to hang out and look fucking great.
Yeah, and have Pokemon.
And then you're like, okay, where's this going? And then it goes to the most bananas stupid place. Like, it's just like, after no information for so much time, it's so much information that is like completely overwhelming. And then my favorite part is after you've beaten them, Sycamore shows up and he's like, I'm sorry I was friends with that guy. But, I just thought he could figure it out. I'll see you later. And then you're like,
He's
away.
like, I feel like there were a couple of times when I sort of like started having some questions about Lysander's plan, but, I believed in him. That's why I think like they must have been lovers. I mean, it's like, why didn't he say anything about
some
this?
Angle like that.
He has all of these secondary like concerns.
They're both hot.
We'd love to see it.
the other problem,
and I'm sure many have drawn it, but we're not going to go into that.
Their twist, their big reveal was like, we're gonna expose this like crystal flower from the ground that's actually a super weapon, and we're gonna use it to like, do they literally say flood the earth? They're gonna do a Noah's Ark.
It's unclear how it ends up killing like everyone other than Team Flare,
which is already what Team Sapphire did, or whatever the blue team in
well, this is more
Ruby Sapphire.
I don't know if elegant is the right word, but in any case, the plan here is simply it's like the leftovers, where it's like
very depressing.
All of these people in Pokemon, 99% or whatever it is, they all just disappear. Yeah, it's a depressing plan. But, like, as far as I can tell, other than Geosenge Town, where the little log cabins get just politely, like, knocked over by the ultimate weapon, I think everything stays the same. It's not like destroying Earth. It's just destroying people in Pokemon, I think.
Okay.
Been trying my best to really pay attention to this storyline.
Look, I didn't really catch it all. I do occasionally mash the A button, in the middle of massive cutscenes, and just because at a certain point I'm like, okay. I just think it's funny that Sycamore is hanging out with this guy all the time, and this guy is like, "Hello, I'm evil." And Sycamore's like, "Here's my friend. You should meet him, child." Sycamore just has a different energy.
The first time we met Diantha, the champion of Kalos, she was like chumming it up with Lysander and Lysander.
Yeah,
Cafe.
she was in cahoots with them too.
This guy, he's like really ingratiated himself. He's really dug deep into the power system of Kalos. And honestly, you know what? I'm soft on Team Flare now. I'm cool on Team Flare for all the reasons you just listed, David. But I'm hot on Lysander because I actually think that his end outfit with his little robot arms was really cool.
You came around on his 3 robot arms? Yeah,
I've come around on that.
You know, at the end of Die Another Day, when Toby Stevens puts on like the RoboCop suit and he's like, I am in my final power, you know, like, and you're like, oh man, like, I wish this thing looked good. Like, that's how I felt a little bit. I kind of just felt a little bad for him that he's like, you will never stop me. And it's like 3 robot arms. But I appreciate his commitment to maximalism, I guess.
Yeah.
Good concept.
Gringus, I don't know that
He went and upgraded.
I don't know that I had a character. You guys were going back to basics. I just did Gringus. I'm a girl. I'm really cute. I have a bucket hat. I made sure my nickname.
Oh, very hip right now.
I know. My nickname is Hottie. So every time I walked into a new city or whatever, I would hear, hey, Hottie. And like my friends would run over to me and be like, what's up, Hottie?
Man, talk about an ego boost.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. But apart from that, I'm worried I was almost too basic. Like, I've never played this game before. I've admired some of these Pokemon through Pokemon Go and stuff. So I was like, oh, I've always wanted to do a Talonflame or what, you know, like some of these guys.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had a fairly regular team. And then the other problem, and this is a complaint about the experience share, is it does kind of lock you in a little bit because suddenly you just have 6 beasts.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, do I want to train someone else? Like, why would I like get rid of my level 52 Lucario that just like annihilates anything in its path? Like, you kind of get locked into a team. I guess I could have been more eager to switch out, but I kind of wasn't at a certain point.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because it makes bringing a new one in, like last episode, which I trained up one Pokemon. Well, everybody else knows, but David, you haven't heard it yet because it comes out tomorrow, but I raised Togekiss.
You did?
From level 1 to level 80.
Cool. That's cool.
So
I support that.
It makes it a lot faster. Like that would take, I would never do that in our previous seasons.
Yeah.
100%.
And I have a whole second
easier,
team.
But now my whole team is like so busted because they've mostly been around the whole time. So, you know, they're all reaching like almost level 90, which has never happened before on the show either.
These are definitely our highest level Pokemon at the end of the season.
Without really trying that hard.
Well, any ups and downs, David? Any favorite gyms? Any favorite set pieces?
I mean, you guys, I think have mentioned this. God bless this game. It's just fine, but it is weird how there are 2 slog portions, right? There's the first slog that's in between like gyms 1 and 2, like right at the start.
Yeah, out of the gate, yeah.
You know that thing in Pokemon where if you enter a town, right, it's not a gym city, right? Cities have gyms, towns don't have gyms.
Right.
And I feel like in the early part of the game, it would be like, and here we are, you know, in Pancake Town. And I'd be like, another fucking town? Like, where's the gym? Like, you keep going like into new towns, never getting to the gym leader. But like that, I didn't mind so much because I felt like at least it's sort of giving me, you know, a sense of the atmosphere of this region, and I'm meeting a lot of Pokemon, and it's fine.
And they're cute little towns.
Cute towns. Everything's got a little bit of character.
Oh, that was something I meant to... I didn't, like, call out until it clicked with Kiloude City. Cloud City, the new town that we experienced this week. They basically all, if not all of them, have like a different architectural style to the the houses and the buildings, which is great. Like that's such a nice feature.
I do like that the houses are always different on the outside.
Yeah, even when it's like a little village with nothing other than like maybe a Pokemon Center.
Right.
This game has a lot of fucking houses. I'm sorry I'm swearing so much. And you go into them in every town. I have to go into every house. And it's just a lot of houses with like 4 people in it. And you'd be like, hey, what's up? And they'd be like, I like Pokemon. And you're like, is there anything else? They're like, no, that's it. And I'm like, okay, let me talk to someone else in here. You know, there's a lot of empty dialogue in this game. Not sure if that's just sort of, again, them sort of flexing their muscles and being like, we can put so many NPCs in this now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
It must
think
be
so,
because
they have
Lumiose
like
is still the biggest city.
They have Lumiose. I think they want this to feel, because there's also a lot more like trainers on the routes. I feel like you're always bumping into people, but it's a similar problem where it's always the same like 4 trainers over and over again. Like it's always Spooky Girl and Little Doll Girl and like that's it, like Hiker,
Battle Girl.
Yeah
They
just fill it up just for the sake of filling it up.
I like that old man who you can give a Pokemon to has a quiet like death that your Pokemon gives him. Keeps a smile on his face until he leaves and you can go back to the house. They've got some nice touches.
But just to finish, the second slog is bad. I don't like the second slog in between 7 and 8. Gym 7 and 8.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much. And it's everything in it is fine. You just need to sprinkle it out more. Like the first game packages Team Rocket out a little bit better, where like, you know, and the early game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they have like,
you know, give me a base every couple gyms. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Putting them back to back was a bizarre choice.
Yeah, the Pokeball Factory right to the... Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
The Rhyhorn and whatever that other second sequence was, where, Mamoswine, where you're riding on them so slowly through the mud and rocks.
Yeah.
Both part of those long slog legs, and both just like brutally slow. Slow down an already slow leg of Pokemon. Good job, Pokemon Company.
Well, should we talk about this leg? Do we have any other rants to clear?
I have a lot of rants about Pokemon Go, which I've been playing a lot lately. Do you want to hear those?
If you want to talk about Pokemon Go, that's fine.
Give
I just feel like you guys have...
a little teaser.
Yeah, give me a tease.
No, I don't have any real complaints. The gyms are too hard. Everyone's been playing this game for too long, and everyone's too good at it. It's my problem with every multiplayer game.
That's my fear.
Like, every time I'm like, I'm in the mood for Call of Duty. I'm going to go play Call of Duty, and I sign on and just get, like, annihilated by everyone who's been playing religiously for, like, the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Same here. I just can't take on a raid gym to save my life.
That's what I feared. That's why I've given up most of those games. I can really only do, like, Heroes of the Storm, the Blizzard MOBA game, because I gave up League of Legends because there were so many teens who were so abusive and so rude on there. And I kept doing Heroes of the Storm because the other team can't talk to you and you can just mute everybody easily.
Yeah.
And they've kept some of the characters for the whole time it's been around. So there was like a set, like a dozen characters that I've been playing for like half a decade or more. So I'm like, I can do this and I can still crush you people. But every other game, like Call of Duty, I did that like Battlefront, the Star Wars one for a bit.
Yeah.
And I was really good. And then it was like, I had to take a week off because I was too busy at work. And then next week it was like, teens with no jobs are here.
The only person who's rude to me on Pokemon Go...
They're calling me an F-slur.
The only person who's rude to me on Pokemon Go is David, because he sends me stickers of Sunflora.
Yeah.
Just to get under my skin.
I gotta offload these stickers, man. I get very obsessive about my stickers, which is silly because they are pointless.
What do the stickers even do?
They don't do anything.
You put them on gifts when you send people gifts. If you join... so I can send you some gifts.
Josh,
you'll see what stickers do.
Be my Poke friend. Come on, I'll give you gifts.
I'm downloading it tomorrow.
We're going to talk about it next week.
Okay.
We'll probably come on after Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire to do like a check-in episode, David, if you want to join us for that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And really get into the nuts and bolts of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I truly just have... I think I had some downtime, but I'm like level 40. I have everything. I love Pokemon Go.
Yeah, your guy looks so cool. Your guy looks so like New York. He's like in all black.
That guy's pretty hot.
Yeah.
And I'm yellow. I'm yellow team, which is the
me
best
too.
team, obviously.
All right.
Oh, I was yellow back in the day.
Joshy, you're doing a poor job of taking the wheel. We just spent 5 minutes talking about the next game.
You talked about Pokemon Go for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Just because I'm taking the wheel doesn't mean you can't, grab it and start jerking in the right direction as well.
Excuse me?
Yeah, excuse me. All right. So we all defeated the Elite Four. We wake up in our mom's bed. Oh, God. No, our own bed. In my mom's house.
Yeah.
We have our own... I don't know that she has a bed, but we have a bed.
She does. It's downstairs. We talked about it at the beginning of the season. That was the first time Mom got a bed.
Finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty brief. I don't remember anything she has to say. She's
just
who are you?
Nothing. She says, go find Professor Sycamore. He's at Lumiose Station in Lumiose City. So, good. Objective set.
Although Shauna tries to force you to trade immediately where you can get a... this was actually the first time I started thinking about Tanner was right about the dumbing down thing to make it easier for competitive battling, because there is multiple trainers, Shauna here, and then Diantha in Lumiose, who will allow you to trade anything to get their level 5, I think. In this case, another starter from Kalos, and then in Diantha's case, a Ralts with the Gardevoirite.
Yep.
Whatever you pick, they all have the best nature and perfect IVs.
Yeah, and really good names. The Fennekin that Shauna gave me was called Kinnykins.
Kinnykins.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that.
Yeah, I got Chester.
Oh, that's better.
The Chespin.
That's better.
Yeah,
Chester's
good.
cute.
And then
Frobble. Frobble's
Frobble?
bad.
Yeah, I don't even understand
That's
that
bad.
one.
Frobo.
That's
Frobble.
But yeah, I just flew to Lumiose.
You know right where I headed right when I got to Lumiose City.
Restaurant Le Wow.
Oh, I had to.
Me too.
I've eaten at Cafe La Ya so many times now that I was like, I have to see what Chef La Wow is doing over at Cafe La Wow or Restaurant La Wow.
That's the first thing I did as well.
It's fun. You can do double battles or single battles or triple battles.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want, whatever your heart's desire. And they're difficult. Well, they're more difficult than Cafe La Ya.
They're still not difficult because the Pokemon are all, what is it, 60? 63?
65 across the board? No. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong restaurant. Sushi High Roller?
Oh, yeah. I did Sushi High Roller right before this record.
Ugh, I didn't even do Sushi High Roller.
You can only go to Sushi High Roller if you've gotten a star rating from every battle from the other restaurants and or do the Looker side quest.
Oh, well. Yeah, 63s across the board, all pretty standard Pokemon, no real surprises.
Other than that, there's a course that is served on the back of a Skiddo. Did you notice that?
Yes. One
the
time,
Skiddo comes out?
A Skiddo comes out eating a little letter for you
Yeah.
that says, here's tonight's entrees. Because the server who was meant to come out and battle you lost her notes. So Skiddo found it and started eating it. Cute.
That was sweet.
Very cute.
Nice moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Cafe La Wow. Had a lot of fun in there.
Yeah, I did too. I did the Cafe Soleil thing, which is where you get the Ralts from Diantha if you want.
Yeah, for that Gardevoirite.
Yeah.
Although the next sort of big set piece is you go to meet up with Sycamore, and he does some shit which we'll get to, but the kind of next step for Sycamore is going and unlocking the mega, like unlocking the next level of your mega ring,
Right.
which becomes then like a item finder for mega stones.
But guys, Mega Evolution is stupid. Who cares? It's dumb.
David, they look cool.
Do they look cool, or do they have a bunch of bullshit added to them?
Yeah, same thing.
It's at least better than Z moves, and I think commonly, I mean, it's basically Dynamax is just Mega Evolution, except they're much larger, which I think is weird.
Yeah, they look big.
Like, why couldn't it just be Mega Evolution still?
Z moves are bad.
Yeah.
Dynamax is kind of amusing just because they get so large that it's
But it's like a
ludicrous.
joke. It's like grotesque.
It's a little grotesque. I don't like any of these things. They don't make sense to me tactically, but
I agree.
Mega Evolution especially doesn't, because you just click a button. It's like, now you're better. What did I lose?
yeah, now
nothing
you can
really.
sweep the other team.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And I have a lot of problems that I've ranted about with it in terms of like
Yeah.
what Pokemon get it and like how. It's totally arbitrary. That's my main problem.
I think it's a stupid mechanic. I am purely drawn to the aesthetics of like the big Mega Evolution Pokemon. And you're right, David. A lot of the times they're very stupid, but some of the times they're very cool. Like I think Charmander X, or no, sorry, Charmander. You know what? I think both of the Charmanders look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the black and blue X Charmander looks cool. I think
the
like,
other one is better though.
the bigger Y one looks cool. I don't know. I think some of them are pretty fun.
Yeah.
Some of these Mega Evolutions.
No, I think they're bad. I mean, the Charizard one looks a little cool, but no, they're bad, and they're annoying in Pokemon Go too. I'll say it.
Yeah, they are pretty annoying in Pokemon Go.
Yes.
They're still around in Pokemon Go. Interesting.
They're still around, and the mechanics to use them are complex.
Well, a straightforward thing is going to Lumiose Station.
Yep.
Because the only place that Lumiose Station can go is Kiloude City.
Yeah, Cloud City.
Cloud City. You get a TMZ pass from Professor Sycamore. You can get the Poke Radar from him if you go back to his lab.
Yeah, some dude downstairs will give it
Which
to you.
is another thing that is like catering to the competitive class because it detects like when there is a higher chance of a shiny Pokemon showing up.
Yeah.
So this is where shiny hunting starts. The origin is all here in Kalos.
Is shiny like not a term they ever use in the Pokemon games? Because like
I
even
don't
the
think
description
so.
for like that Pokemon radar,
It was coy about it.
it says like different colored Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? Like Like that butterfly who comes in lots of different variations, or?
I feel like shiny is colloquial because,
Yeah.
To make it clear if you don't know what color the Pokemon normally is,
They sparkle.
it does the little like razzle dazzle when it comes out. But I don't know if they ever call it shiny in the game.
6 full gens come and gone, and I still have yet to catch a shiny.
Other than your Mayor Chi Ditto.
I caught a shiny Giratina. I don't know. Is that unusual? That's the only shiny I remember
seems
catching.
Very unusual.
Sounds pretty
It was crazy.
unusual.
You're not even gaming it. It just shows up.
No. It was like the Giratina I was presented with in Platinum or whichever one it was.
Oh my god.
Was shiny.
Wow.
You still have that bad boy?
Probably. Yeah. I've got the
A
cartridge.
pretty penny for that.
My only shiny is this Ditto that apparently is hacked.
It could be real, but I feel like probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
So, did you hop on the train?
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's the TGV, basically.
The what?
That's their train.
TGB.
TGV, the TGV, the Très Grande Vitesse. That's what that's their train.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Parisian.
Sorry, I didn't understand
Okay.
the French reference. But
I did live in Paris, aka
so
Lumiose City.
you're a fan of these frokies.
Yeah, sure. Why
Do you
not?
speak French?
Yes, but not that well anymore. It's been a long time.
I was going to ask you if Josh's French has been good this season so far. He's been really honing his craft.
Maybe you'd read off the names of my Pokemon and level check instead of me.
I can try.
And maybe you can say smell you later in French at the end, because Josh certainly can't.
No, I'm not going to try it again. Alex Bug did an okay job.
Yeah, I took the train down to Kiloude City. Thought about calling you for a friend safari,
Well,
Joshua.
we already have each other's friend codes, so I was able to access you without having to call you.
Oh, really?
I just went in there, and you're a psychic type.
Oh, what does that mean?
Like the theme of the Mon that your friend code, your friendship triggered. We should have done it with David too, damn it. But anyway, you specifically trigger psychic Pokemon coming out into the friend safari.
Can I change that, or am I always psychic?
And it was an Esper and a Mana. I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think you have any control over that.
Okay. Well, I guess psychic's cool. Not what I would have
Yeah,
picked.
psychic is nice. I didn't need any of that, but I did catch both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friend Safari is triggered by how many friends you have, and then you can just choose based on that friend which type you want. So if we had added David, he might have been like electric or something, and then that type of Pokemon comes out.
Fun!
Yeah.
They're doing some fun stuff in these games sometimes.
I thought Friend Safari is clever. I mean, it's, again, like, we can't really give it its full due at this point.
It's cool that you just have to have friends to take advantage of it.
Right. The only problem with it, I guess, is just that these devices are so clunky with the friends and the online sometimes. But everything, it's good thinking by them.
They were really going for it in this gen, though. I remember when
Yeah.
the 3DSs first came out, like, I went to New York Comic Con and was like, this is amazing. Like, I'm making so many friends. Like, I'm getting so many, like... You could, like, send people, like, puzzle pieces to, like, put together Zelda puzzles for some reason. I don't remember. And, like, their Miis would come and live on your Game Boy. They were really trying to make this an online console for a little while, but...
They give it their best.
It's silly to do that because it barely fucking connects to the internet.
Right. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me like 2 hours to get it to work.
What else is down here? Battle Maison?
Battle Maison.
Battle Maison.
Good.
Pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, I forget what the one in Black and White 2 was, that Pokemon World Tournament, I think.
Yeah.
You fight 3 trainers and then you get 1 battle point. And in this, it's just straightforward, like 1 battle point per win.
Yeah.
And 1 round.
You got 3 Pokemon. They all get leveled down to level 50 across the board. Pick whoever you want. And you get 1 battle point per win.
Yeah, and you can do single, double, triple, and rotation.
You just tear through them, too.
Good.
I got like 4 matches in, and it was like, oh, this is too easy.
Yeah.
I must stop.
That's the problem. Slog.
Yeah.
It's cool, but what is it? You have to do like 50 victories in a row to get all the way through.
I wanted a Volt Switch TM, and I was thinking about like trying to get that before we recorded, and then I looked at the prize list, and it was 48 BP, and I was like, nah. I actually, the other night when I first played it, I was going to make it as far as I could, and I only made it to 10 because on the 11th battle, a fucking Quilladin killed my Halucha somehow with a wood hammer because Fly missed. And I was like, well, I'm not ever going to play it long enough to get more than 10.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't need the TMs at this point because I won't be using any of these Pokemon.
But I guess it's for those same people, you know? Like I want to play Pokemon until Sun and Moon come out in 3 years. So I guess I'll just sit in the Battle Maison.
Right. And some of this stuff can be useful. Like I started flirting with that the other episode when I brought in the Togekiss, but you could theoretically, one of these TMs that you need to get in the Battle Maison you could get the TM and then teach it to a Pokemon and then breed it into some other Pokemon that you put in the bank and then you trade it up to the new one. So who knows if we really want to get like crazy.
After you're done, you head outside and you're immediately attacked by your rival. David, can I ask you to cover your ears for a moment?
Okay.
Because it's about my secret team.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Went and got my pan monkeys out.
Oh, yeah.
Just crushed her. Are you kidding me? These things are at level 80.
Just the pan monkeys?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're all level 80.
Yeah.
She can't stop me. Okay.
I didn't have any trouble with them last week.
All right. David, you can come back.
All right. Hi.
Finally, Calum and What's-Her-Face have a full 6 Mon team.
Yeah.
Good job.
They finally made it. Took them until the end game.
Meowstic, Clefable, Flareon, Altaria, Greninja for me, and Absol. And the Absol has Absolite, so it can turn into its Mega.
Yeah, that's cool. So she's got a Mega now, too.
It's pretty good. You know winged cats? The, like, mythological creature, but then also it's sort of like a...
I know what winged means, and I know what a cat is. Do I need any more information than that?
There can be some cats that get, like, extra growths or, like, matted hair, and then people are like, it's a winged cat.
Oh.
And then, so you can look up winged cat, and then it's just, like, these cats that they're sort of gross, and they have little, like, tufts of hair. But I like the look of this thing.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Okay.
Hey, it's me, Dr. Sycamore. Come to Anastar City and get your Mega Ring upgraded.
Yeah.
I already talked about this, but yeah, that's what you do. You go to Anastar City, there's like a big sundial, you talk to him, he upgrades your Mega Ring so that it, between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. on every third Tuesday, if you're in the right spot in the world, your Mega Ring will bleep and blip, and you can find a Mega Stone. But Bulbapedia makes it easy by just telling us where all the Mega Stones
Just
are.
tells you where they are. But you know what?
Yeah.
Who cares? Because Mega Stones are stupid.
I went and got a couple that I was missing, but you know what? I honestly don't even plan on using them in the fight with you guys. So what's the point? It's also silly to introduce this new mechanic. We talked about this a couple weeks ago too, David, but it's silly that there are no Gen 6 Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's silly that you can't even get most of the Mega Evolution stones until the end game.
It just it has no real tactical bearing, so it just feels like superfluous.
Yeah, it's just set dressing.
I'm looking at this list now too, and there is a Caesar Mega Evolution, which we were talking about last episode. Is like, oh, Pinsir finally got something.
Oh yeah,
because it has a Mega Evolution, but then they threw it in for Caesar too, even though you couldn't improve on that perfection.
Yeah, does he look cool?
It looks like the safety scissors instead. It looks worse. Like the little zigzag scissors.
Oh yeah, it does look like that. I don't know.
No way.
I think it looks cool.
It's still good, but I don't know.
Man, Manectric's Mega Evolution looks terrible.
They're all terrible. They're all terrible.
That was a letdown. I like Manectric.
Me too. They're good as they are.
Yeah.
They just made his lightning bolt body bigger.
But then it just makes it look like a porcupine or something. It changes the whole dynamic where it's supposed to be like a wolf or, I don't know, a fox or something.
Joshy, I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
Question the first. Are you taking the fucking wheel in this episode or not?
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
And it pertains to my second question.
I'll admit the winged cats thing was not something we needed to talk about.
No.
Second question. Are you ready to take a break?
Fine. All right, we're back. All that we really have left to do to finish the game properly and go into the actual post-game, which is wild. Lumiose.
Yes, we're back.
We land there, presumably going back to Restaurant Le Wow, and you get a holoclip that looks like a generic, like, little smiley face.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, hey, I gotta talk to you about something, but I can't tell you who I am. Will you go to this shady back alley? It's over by Magenta Plaza, or, you know,
I think Rouge.
fucking whatever.
It's one of those.
Rouge Square. You also can just take a cab to it. I wasn't going to figure that out. I was like, I know Looker's involved, and you could just find Looker Bureau on there, and then the cab will take you directly to it.
Yeah.
And here is where we meet our old friend Looker, who I think this is the second generation that he's in. I think 3.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, he's like that G-Man guy from Half-Life. He's always lurking in the background.
He looks better than ever, although he calls himself a grim-faced, tired old detective who's just trying to get the job done.
Yeah.
And he's here looking for trouble in Lumiose. Joan of Arceus is someone who's looking for trouble all around Kalos, so naturally she wants to sign up.
But now he's got you on like a fetch quest, and keep in mind, I did not do this. And then it's sounding like I should be pretty glad that I didn't do it. It sounded like it sucked.
You should be. It's very silly.
So there's 5 chapters, and it's cased in this sort of like PI thing where you need to go around Lumiose, and he puts you through this like test first to make sure that you're actually a good detective, except his notebook just tells you literally where all of the hidden like Looker tickets are, and you just take a cab to every single one of them. And then you get in, he makes you his like assistant or his apprentice. Then he like gets a call where like some NIMBY like mom is upset about like her kid going and playing in the back alleys.
Honk shoe, let's go catch Mewtwo.
Yeah. Well, I think
Screw Looker.
we don't need to go into this whole thing. I think like my overall like opinion, and then at least David, I want to get yours because you did it, right? You did it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is, they're trying something new. It's making you just stay in the city.
Right.
It's putting you in a realm that they haven't done in Pokemon up until this point. The storyline is sort of cute, and he takes in this orphan and like whatever. It's sort of charming. And I also appreciate that what's-his-face, the Dr. Zerosic, the creepy Baron Harkonnen-looking
Yes.
mad scientist at the heart of Team Flare finally like gets locked up at the end. And I love that like at least...
Oh, good.
We know that the criminal syndicate finally actually, like, somebody gets thrown in jail. But the whole thing was just, like, so much... And I was reading it, but it's so much slamming A.
Yeah.
It's so many cutscenes.
This is my problem.
It's navigating the shit show of a city with the camera. You can't... Like, I caught my new mom that I brought into the team before doing this because I was like, oh, great. There will be some, like... tough mon that I can level this thing against, and then it's like
no.
The highest level I think at the end is 68 or 70,
yeah,
and it's
all
like
Pokemon in their 50s and 60s.
Outrageous.
Yeah, it's nothing.
We should be put up against a level fucking 60 Persian.
The thing is, like, it's not even good, like, scaling because the game knows we just went and beat the Elite Four, Like,
that's what I don't get.
We're obviously well past level 60. Like, what happened to the good old days where we had to go fight Silver on top of a mountain and he was like level 100 and it was fucking impossible?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the best thing in any of the games. I've ranted about it so many times. Like, yeah.
I agree.
I love it so much.
That scene was like, I still remember finding that for the first time when I was a kid.
So cool. He just turns around and he doesn't say anything, and then he just throws like a level 96 Pikachu down your throat, and you're like, what is this? So cool.
Yeah, like that's telling that Pikachu was still the highest level NPC Pokemon that they've like programmed into a battle.
Right.
It just seems arbitrary. Like, why not just give us a level 80 here?
Yeah.
Like, who cares if we get beaten a few times?
I mean, there's a whole genre of games like this that are more popular in Japan, right? That are like text heavy.
Yeah, sure.
Detective-y or crime solving. And like, is this an homage to that maybe? Like, are they trying to do a little of that?
Like Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, sure. Right. Like, where it's a lot, because like that was the only way I could really get my head around how plotty and kind of, static a lot of this was.
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe.
I could give it that.
It's like visual novelty. I just like, I read the recap on Bulbapedia and it just looks like World of Warcraft. It's like fetch quests. It's like.
It's a lot of fetch quests.
Get a quest, go out and like fetch a thing and then come back and deliver it. And then, or like go out and like fight a person and then come back and tell me. It just, it's not interesting.
And there's not really anything, like I mentioned, like literally the reward essentially is like feeling good about yourself and like locking up this criminal, and then you can get into the Sushi High Roller. But I have the same complaint about that restaurant, which is that this is like the ultimate unlock that you can get in this game. So why is it level 65 Pokemon?
Right.
Yeah.
That you fight in this restaurant that's for VIPs only. I'm the champion of the fucking region. The Crusader, Joan of Arceus. You're giving me level 65?
It's not the ultimate unlock, Josh, because we're about to talk about the ultimate unlock.
Well, sure. That's all I had to say about that whole looker thing.
Okay, what's the ultimate unlock?
Mewtwo.
Oh, of course. Yes. Aren't there also legendary birds? Can't you get the...
There are legendary birds.
fuckers?
They're a pain in the ass. I thought about
I didn't do any of this.
hunting them down. You only get one. Once again, they figure out whoever your starter is, and you get the opposite. So I chose Froakie, and
Right.
Moltres kept
Moltres.
attacking me across the landscape.
Mine was Zapdos.
And they attack you 11 times before you finally can chase them down to the Sea Spirit's Den, where it's like all three of these legendaries at the end of this game, Zygarde, the birds, and Mewtwo, are just like sitting in the middle of a cave.
Yeah.
Like ripe for the taking.
I did have comments on Zygarde just because I found like a pretty wild like theory about Pokemon Z.
Right.
The like supposedly planned third edition of the game.
Oh yeah, I was wondering why there hasn't been an all-encompassing third edition for a few gens, has there? We didn't have them in black and white.
Yeah, they stop after this, don't they?
Yeah, I don't remember when they stopped. I guess it was Pearl.
Well, Platinum.
Platinum.
Yeah, that's the last time they did it.
So I'll do a fun facty for Zygarde in Pokemon Z. Zygarde has different forms. I don't know if you have both seen that on its Pokedex.
Yeah.
Or on Bulbapedia.
Yeah.
We get 50% form in X and Y. And then there's a 10%, which is like a hellhound. And you can capture cells, and you do that in Sun and Moon, I think. And you can like change its forms. And so in like a couple of years after X and Y came out, there was a leak that revealed the complete form of Zygarde, which makes it look like basically a kind of Reggie or like
It looks like a Gundam.
Golurk kind of a thing, like a big golem. And so everybody was like, oh shit, like this is the tease for the Z version. And it's implied by its X and Y Pokedex entries that it is like the Pokemon that sort of balances out the other two legendaries, Yveltal and Xerneas.
Yeah.
Which is very common with any of the trios. There's like one who's like the least crazy one.
Right.
Like a Rayquaza. So the Pokedex entries are like, when the Kalos region's ecosystem falls into disarray, Zygarde appears and reveals its secret power. It monitors those who destroy the ecosystem from deep in its cave. So the game, like this first game, the ecosystem's out of whack because of Team Flare and the ultimate weapon. And so it sort of seems like, okay, they're setting it up where there's going to be Z version, and Zygarde's the main character that comes back to like save Kalos. But the only other hints to it is that like there were programmed moves into the game that were discovered like in the data.
Wow.
1,000 waves and 1,000 arrows. And this is the same for like Floette, apparently. There might have been a legendary Floette.
Maybe it's that Floette that dude was in love with.
Yeah. So what threw me down this rabbit hole, normally I would say a Pokemon pun, but Bunnelby hole sounds bad.
Yeah, it sounds really
So
bad.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Was triggered by Pokemon Crossroads on Twitter, who pointed out that Floette was supposed to be an event Pokemon with a signature move that was Light of Ruin. And so there's these, the 1,000 waves and 1,000 arrows. That's like, they programmed all this stuff, making it seem like they were going to do it. And then they didn't go through with it for whatever reason. But that's the theory, at least. There's like a whole thing I can like tweet out. It was on smogun.com. But it's like fascinating.
It sucks that they gave us the worst form in this game.
It's pretty lame.
The dog and the Gundam are so much better.
Yeah,
than
it's
this worm.
we just get the like blobby snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I caught the dang thing.
Yeah.
Why the heck not?
Yeah. I just caught it. I think
Sure.
it was just an Ultra Ball. Like first one.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to catch. Unlike Mewtwo.
This game is easier. Yeah. Oh, Mewtwo. Okay, I didn't do Mewtwo, so.
The Unknown Dungeon.
Good to be back.
Joshua, I walked into the Unknown Dungeon. There's Mewtwo, of course. He turns his
Looking good.
thick hips towards me.
Bigger than ever.
Stares me down. Yeah. And I jump into a battle with him. Catch him. Don't use the Master Ball. He's got this incredibly annoying power called Restore or something like that. Recovery.
Yeah, recover.
So you get him down to like red, and then he just recovers a couple times, and he's back up to full green.
You didn't have any way of putting him to sleep?
No, I did. I eventually went and got Paint Stain, my Smeargle. What's he called? Smeargle?
Yes, Smeargle.
And put him to sleep. And that's how I caught him. And of course, you get the
Mewtwoite.
The Mewtwoite. I got the Mewtwoite X.
Oh, yeah.
Right after I beat him.
I got Mewtwoite Y. And I caught my Mewtwo with a Master Ball. As I've said, I always save it for a Mewtwo if I can get it, because the branding's there. It's purple. It's got an M. Mewtwo.
It's an aesthetic choice.
Gotta live there.
I went into a battle, and I took out Mega Mewtwo X, and I was like, okay, I like it. He's got big hip, even bigger hips, and he's got big arms, big veiny arms. And I was like, I wonder what Josh is dealing with over on Pokemon Y.
Yeah.
I wonder what Mega Mewtwo Y looks like, Joshua.
You know what Mega Mewtwo Y looks like?
Should we say it on the count of 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. You make me
Joshy,
barf
sweetie.
Pokemon of the week.
Wow.
You're just always gonna do it whenever there's a Mewtwo.
The
You're not
Mewtwo-
gonna let me just have a clean sweetie.
I've come around on Mewtwo, and I think Mewtwo X looks okay. Mewtwo Y looks terrible. Why does it have like a belt loop on its head?
I had X originally.
I
think
pro
Y is better now.
Y is better.
Yeah.
Y is better. Y looks different.
And it's special attack forward, which I appreciate.
It's got little sausage fingers and little sausage toes. Like
They all
Mewtwo's
do.
ball fingers and toes were bad, but now
No.
they're a different color and they look like
But
sausages.
Tanner, you always complain about like Machamp
Yeah.
and Timber with all of the veins. Look at all the veins and weird stuff going on with Mewtwo X.
Hey, I'm not saying Mewtwo X is something I'm wildly in love with.
I do like its ears though.
I just don't like Mewtwo Y. And I don't like Mewtwo Y because of its giant head and its belt loop.
Well, it's always had a big head. I don't know what the belt loop is about. I don't know what purpose that serves.
I also just say this, if you Google to see, because you're curious.
Well, I don't.
You're curious
I don't-
what your co-host is going to be dealing with.
Not curious about
The
that.
fan art community has really taken Mega Mewtwo Y and run with it. Joshua, I'll tell you that right now. The game presents it as...
Why specifically? Because the tentacle?
I think the game presents it as
The tail?
10% too sexy. It's the slightly feminine version of Mewtwo, and the fan art community is like, say no more.
That's in its favor. That's good. Mega Mewtwo X stinks. It just looks like Mewtwo with like some bullshit on. Like it's nothing. Bad.
I want to remind you guys, I'm not
they've
here
put
to
in more
defend
effort with Mewtwo Y.
Mewtwo X. You misunderstand me. I'm not saying I love Mewtwo X and I hate Mewtwo Y. I don't like either of them.
Okay.
All right.
Fine. We know that you don't like
Let's
Mewtwo.
battle, guys.
I like it.
And it was your sweetie, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna just put
It's a correct sweetie.
Mewtwo Y on the list. Sweetie,
Okay.
fuck you.
It's on my list too. So fuck you.
Fine.
All right, should we battle?
That's all that I got.
I want to see what
Let's battle.
David has been building.
Let's check
this
the
season.
levels.
Yeah.
And let's do it.
Oh, my team isn't that interesting.
That's
But
okay.
yes, let's check the levels.
Level check.
I didn't do any leveling since last week.
Oh, so you just want to plow through?
Yeah, go back and listen to the episode with Tony on it. That's my levels and my Pokemon.
Your main team didn't change.
I mean, they may have changed a little, but I don't even have my Game Boy down here, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I think Malamar got up to like level 86, but everyone else is like Lucario's 82, Go-Goat's 81, Gengar is 82, and Ampharos is 81.
Gengar. Oh, your team is different.
Yeah, he went for other than Go-Go.
He went for all
Oh,
megas.
and Malamar,
He went for
actually.
all megas, right.
I tried to go for all megas, but I didn't quite pull it off.
I suppose I won't run through all of mine then. Nobody has changed. It's still Venusaur, Dragalge, Heliolisk, Halucha, Togekiss, and Togekiss is the highest level 87, which is the new record.
Wow.
I think.
Wow.
But I do have a new Mon, as you might expect. How could I resist? We have Bluebeard, which is Mewtwo, level 80.
Oh, very good.
Joan of Arc was friends with the pirate Bluebeard?
So the lore of the Joan of Arceus game is that Delphox, John II, betrayed her and tried to burn Joan of Arceus. And that's why Delphox is off the team. Tried to burn her at the stake. So she had to recruit somebody at the last second, and she was like, you know what? I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah.
So she took this guy. No way I can say this.
Gilles de Rais.
Gilles.
Gilles.
Oh, you got it? Gilles de Rais. You know who it is?
Yeah. Who everyone says was Bluebeard, right?
From the this website that I've been using to cite the whole time, madeofheaven.com,
Wow.
which is where I've gotten all the names for Joan of Arc's compatriots
Cool.
and enemies. Bluebeard was Gilles de Rais.
Gilles. It's Gilles. It's
Gilles
a soft G.
de Rais.
I'm sure it's a soft G.
Gilles de Rais
Gilles de Rais.
was
yeah.
a knight who served with Joan of Arc in the 100 Years' War, but is better known for his terrible crimes as a serial killer of children and is infamously referred to as Bluebeard for his reign of terror and perversion.
Yeah.
Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Pretty cool.
Apparently he was never even a pirate. Everyone just thinks he was a pirate.
Well, they're confusing him with Blackbeard. They always confuse him with Blackbeard.
Yeah, Blackbeard's the classic.
David, who are we up against?
Okay, here are my Pokemon. Now, I want to say the only other Pokemon that was even in close to this team, and I really almost kept him just because I thought it would be so funny to bring him to this episode, was I had a Swallow for the longest time, and it was bizarre, but it was kind of good. But I did not. Eventually, I was like, what am I doing? I have to get rid of this thing. This is ridiculous.
Did you say Swalot?
Swalot. Yeah, I said Swallow.
Wow.
But yeah, Swalot.
Oh my god.
It was one of those things where this game, you just kind of catch a Pokemon early on, right? And then they're just on your team and they start leveling.
Yeah.
Because you have these. And so I had a Gulpin, and then it became a Swalot. And it was I was like annihilating people with it because it's such a nasty Pokemon.
It's psychological warfare.
You give it this thing called Black Sludge, and then it recovers HP every turn.
Oh, wow.
And like, it was really pretty good, but then eventually I just felt ridiculous having it. So I got rid of it and I put Venusaur on instead. So I've got a Venusaur, level 85. My Pokemon don't have nicknames.
I'll say about Swalot real quick. It's a good foil to all the fairy types in this region.
That's
too,
why
though.
I was keeping it for a while. It was
Yeah.
good against that. And then I just gave Venusaur Sludge Bomb and I was like, same difference.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
So I've got a Venusaur. Level, they're all level low 80s, basically. But I'm putting them at 85 to fight you guys.
Yeah, we will level all of our Mon to 85 buck catchers, so.
I've got a Greninja. That was my starter. That's a great Pokemon. I have always wanted to run that Pokemon, and I could not believe how good it was.
Yeah, stunning.
Water Dark rules, you know.
Thanks for reminding
Cool
me.
moves.
Yeah, Dark.
Water Shuriken. Yeah, anyway, yes. I have a Talonflame, which is another Pokemon I always wanted to run. I've complained about the dearth of good flying Pokemon in some of these games, and this is a really fun one.
Yeah, it's a great combo.
I have that Lucario. The Lucario I really didn't want because I've raised many a Lucario, and they give you one, right? They just hand you this Lucario, and the Lucario is so good that you actually cannot get rid of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just such a devastatingly
Tanner knows.
powerful Pokemon. Yeah, Tanner knows.
Especially when you give it that mega evolution.
Yeah, and then I have an Aurorus and a Garchomp, because I've never raised a Garchomp.
You did Aurorus too.
Aurorus is fun.
Ooh.
I like good type match.
Yeah, I had a good time.
You know, I've got Rock, Ice, Fight, Steel, Firefly, Water, Dark.
They do some fun
Dragon,
ones.
Ground, Grass, Poison. That's a good type spread. Yeah, like I like having a nice type spread.
Like even Malamar, Psychic Dark is pretty like cool.
That's a weird one. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, come on, guys. Let's fight. I want to see
Yeah,
it.
let's go. Let's go.
All right.
So Joshua, do you want to take on the secret team or you want to take on my regular team?
I want to take on the regular team because I did secret team last week. I don't know what you did to it, but I got to take on the main shit.
Okay. Let's take on the main shit then. I'm going to level them all up to 85 right now.
All right, bug catchers. We'll see you on the other side of this round. So, IP is mine again.
Yeah, you didn't play my joke team this week like you did last week, but you still
I wanted a proper matchup.
you still annihilated me.
It was tough.
Your joke team did a lot better.
Yeah, my joke team almost got
I have
you.
5 standing right now.
Yeah.
The only one that died was Venusaur.
Honestly, it's a wonder that I peeled one off at all.
Yeah, and I did like a flare where I just like brought in Mewtwo to transform into Mewtwo Y for the last one just for fun.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
It's pretty good.
All right, you maintain the IP. Let's see if David can wrestle it out of your hands, though, huh?
Yeah, challenge me, Josh. Let's do it.
You ready, Gringus?
All right.
Gringus D?
Yeah. You're going to kick my ass.
Wow, gentlemen.
God damn it.
Oh,
Hell of a battle.
hell of a battle.
Josh pulled it out in the very end by the skin of his yellow country teeth, as he likes to say.
Yeah, I got lucky with a, speaking of yellow, Heliolisk with the Rain Dance Thunder, and then the first one paralyzed David's Venusaur, and then that thing took like 5 or 6 turns of paralysis. and I managed to kill it with thunder.
But then it looked like it was going to be your one remaining Venusaur versus Talonflame, but you managed to pull the oldest trick in the book.
Mayor Sleep.
And Mayor sleeped him.
I should have just fucking flamethrowered you. I'm an idiot. I did fly.
Except your first fly did dodge his first sleep powder.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, David had some really bad luck with that one.
Josh has 22% left.
I think on a rematch, I'd be on the ropes. It's close.
No, whatever. No. It's close. It was great. It was a good battle.
It was close.
Bug catchers, thank you for joining us for Pokemon X and Y. We had a lot of fun playing it. It's a great game, I think.
It's a good game.
It has its problems. It's very easy.
It aged like fine wine, though.
It looks good.
I liked it a lot more than the first time I played it. I also didn't do all of that extra looker stuff the first time. That was all new to me.
Cute little game.
I like it.
Had fun with it.
Yeah.
Next up is going to be a short interstitial season, a couple episodes
2 eps?
on
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, but then we will be back after the next main series game, which is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Get your carts now at this point.
Yeah. Or just download it off the eShop because it's still there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then we'll be back after that season to check in on Pokemon Go to see how we've done after 10 weeks of ORAS, as we call it.
You guys going to do something weird for the Sapphire Ruby?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that yet.
I think we gotta.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out. We haven't done an egg lock yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we're due.
We've talked about making our own thing. We also talked about doing a like a spouse lock.
Oh yeah.
Where our
wedlock.
Spouses have to wedlock, right.
That'd be fun. I like that.
Yeah, we'll probably do that.
I think wedlock is a separate one, so I was trying to come up with a different name for this, but where our spouses have to choose our Pokemon. Kind of low risk.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that.
Although it could be high risk.
No, I like that though.
And high reward because they're all going to be very sweet Pokemon if it's Jamie and Bobby doing all the picking.
Egglock sounds complicated and annoying. Don't do that.
Bobby really hates Dragalge. Bobby is actually sort of the unbiased sweetie. Like, he just goes for the straight up, that's a fucking sweetie.
He just likes it to be good looking.
Yeah.
Joshua, I usually do the outro ramble, but Joshy takes the wheel this week, so it's all yours.
All right, so thanks for listening. If you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, but don't leave a review unless you did, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. You're killing this, by the way.
Spotify, Stitcher, wherever else. Follow us on those same podcatchers and anywhere else you listen to podcasts.
Totally natural word. People use that in everyday conversation all the time.
That's a little inside baseball. I'm not used to doing that part. But you can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at EXPSharePod, which is where you can also find these battle replays from Pokemon Showdown. You can check out what's happening on the subreddit, reddit.com/r/bugcatchers, and you can buy some merch at expsharemerch.com, and you can find David Sims and what he's working on. Where, David?
I'm on Twitter, David L. Sims. My podcast is Blank Check with Griffin and David. We're doing Bob Fosse right now. Star Study miniseries, please enjoy. And I write at theatlantic.com. That's me.
Good stuff.
That's me.
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Yeah.
Look forward to
Waterfalls.
chatting Go with you over the next couple of weeks.
And sending him lots of gifts.
I'm full of advice. Send me gifts.
Although the professor sent me a challenge today to send 6 gifts, and I only have one friend, and he's currently not opening any of my gifts. So.
Well, isn't David your friend?
Yeah. But
he's not opening them?
He won't open any of my gifts.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got to open gifts. I know. I'm sorry.
So I need another friend.
I'll be your friend tomorrow.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Smell you later.
So, David, the secret team is the 3 pan monkeys.
Yeah, right. Of course. The pans.
Plus Mewtwo, Zygarde, and Xerneas.
Oh, sure. So kind of a, right, top-heavy guys. Okay, yeah, uh-huh.